Does SpongeBob wear false eyelashes, or did the animators make another mistake? In the episode Squid Baby from the 9th season, when Squidward hits his head very hard, he starts behaving like a baby, but with a giant head. I mean, I guess it makes sense since babies have big heads, right? The thing is, while SpongeBob is holding Squid Baby in his arms and listening to what the doctor has to say, we notice that the 3 characteristic eyelashes of SpongeBob simply disappear for a few moments. Were the eyelashes fake and fell off? Is SpongeBob completely made up? I don't think so. In reality, this was just one of the 16 mistakes we've gathered to show you today. In the 3rd season, in the episode Spongicus, we see an inspiration from the classic gladiator Spartacus, but in a square yellow version that makes strange sounds when laughing. But the mistake is not with SpongeBob this time, it's actually in the t-shirt Mr. Krabs wears underneath his usual blue button-up shirt. In this scene, when he's next to SpongeBob, it's as always pure white. However, right after, it suddenly changes color and becomes darker, resembling the green of the Krusty Krab floor. A small error, but we noticed it. In the 9th season episode, What's Eating Patrick?, we see that the thing Patrick loves most is eating, especially Krabby Patties. And when we see Patrick at the Krusty Krab's cash register, those who looked closely noticed that the Order Here sign was completely empty. Shortly after, the letters that had gone out for lunch seem to have returned. Who knows? Maybe they also went to have a Krabby Patty, right? I think everyone knows the episode from the 2nd season called Sailor Mouth, where Patrick and SpongeBob learn a new word. But the problem is that this word is, let's say, very inappropriate. But the baby octopuses at the Krusty Krab found it funny, especially this little guy, and notice that he's wearing a cap that has 2 colors, red and white. But when we see his mom pouring a cup of soda on him, we see that the little octopus boy's cap miraculously changed from red to blue. Yes, you just witnessed the miracle of color transformation, my friend. In the episode Face Freeze, there's an easy-to-spot mistake. But did you notice it when you watched it for the first time? Who hasn't heard that if you make a funny face, your face might get stuck that way forever? Well, in this episode, that's exactly what happens. SpongeBob and Patrick's faces get completely distorted from making too many funny faces. And when SpongeBob is at the Krusty Krab, we see him coming out of the kitchen with his restaurant's chef hat. But right after, when he's drooling over the Krabby Patties because he can't control his lips anymore, we notice that he's without his hat. Point for us who noticed that, right? And you. Had you already noticed this mistake in the episode? Comment below so we can know. In the episode Squirrel Record in Season 9, Sandy asks SpongeBob for help to break Guinness Book records. At the beginning of the episode, we see SpongeBob doing one of the grossest things in the whole series. He puts the patty from a Krabby Patty into his own wallet, along with money and coins. Seriously, never do that. Money has billions of bacteria and other really disgusting stuff. And when we see Bob open his wallet, we can notice some cards and his milkshake license inside. But when he uses the Krabby Patty to save Sandy, we can see that the wallet has changed. It has a cowboy and a sewn-on star. And I'm sure you were so focused on how gross it would be to have a burger patty mixed with money that you didn't even notice that. In the episode Money Talks from the 5th season, something very strange happens. The elderly couple is kicked out of the Krusty Krab by Mr. Krabs himself because of a guy who offered $5 to get a table immediately. And when they are flying away, the old man's glasses and even his eyes simply disappear for a brief moment. Hey everyone, this mistake we're about to talk about is very special because it was noticed by a very important person. Clara Alicia, one of the subscribers of the channel. Clara noticed that in the episode The Krusty Slammer from the 12th season, where Mr. Krabs turns the Krusty Krab into a prison because of plankton, there's a mistake the animators made. We see one of the customers who is in the Krusty Krab prison restaurant at one moment, and shortly after, we see that he has transformed into one of the inmates of the Krusty Krab jail. Even Mr. Krabs seems surprised that Clara noticed this. Thanks, Clara. We loved your contribution, and we'd love to receive more tips like this. If you, who are watching now, have any cool facts or animation mistakes like in SpongeBob SquarePants, leave them here in the comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Going back to the episode Squirrel Record from the 9th season, when SpongeBob is trying to save Sandy, we see bubbles around his head, as if he's immersed in water. But the thing is, he's actually inside Sandy's dome, where there's only oxygen, meaning it would be impossible to have bubbles there unless they were soap bubbles. And there was no one blowing soap bubbles at that time, right? In fact, the bubbles disappear shortly after, which is the correct thing since there was air, not water. Are they drawing so much SpongeBob that they're seeing bubbles everywhere all the time? In the first episode of the 4th season, Fear of a Krabby Patty, we see, as always, the eternal rivalry between Plankton and Mr. Krabs. And everyone knows the 2 restaurants are across from each other, connected by the same street. But in this scene, where we see a flashy sign that Plankton puts on the chum bucket, there's simply no longer a street connecting the Krusty Krab to the villain's establishment. In the episode Tudor Sauce, which we've mentioned before in another video about SpongeBob SquarePants mistakes, we found a new little mistake. Everyone knows there are two main signs of the Krusty Krab, the Order Here sign and the menu sign. However, when SpongeBob manages to knock down the walls of the Krusty Krab for the umpteenth time, we notice that something is missing from the menu sign. Normally, it says Galley, but this time there was one letter missing, and it read Galley. And the truth is, I can't even remember the last time I wrote something. And you? Comment below, #lazy, if you're also lazy when it comes to writing something. In the episode Squid's Day Off, we notice something really bizarre. When Squidward is handing over, in quotation marks, the Krusty Krab's cash register to SpongeBob to take charge, it seems that the ink for Squidward's skin color ran out. And since there was some leftover ink used to paint his shirt, they decided to paint his neck the same color. And for a brief moment, Squidward's neck turned brown. No, this is not the title of a soap opera, but it could very well be. And the heartthrob would be SpongeBob, because there are so many episodes where the windows of his pineapple house disappear. It's no joke. We all know that SpongeBob's house has 2 round windows. But in the episode SB-129, we see that right at the beginning of it, one of the windows is lost because it's not in SpongeBob's house. Another chapter of SpongeBob's Mistakes soap opera that we love to watch. If there's one thing everyone who watches SpongeBob SquarePants knows, it's that his style is unmistakable. Brown square pants, black shoes, high socks, and a white shirt are all part of the look of the sea sponge from Bikini Bottom. But there's also another item. The red tie. Yeah, we remember and like it, right? But in the same episode where the window disappears from SpongeBob's house, SB-129, we see that for a brief moment, his tie turns completely black. Not red as it should be. I don't know about you, but I think red looks good on SpongeBob's outfit. I just wouldn't have the courage to wear it. Going back to the episode Sailor Mouth from the 2nd season, we see a moment when Mr. Krabs bumps into a rock while leaving the Krusty Krab. Pay attention. Notice that when he hits the rock, the foot I mean, the paw that gets hurt is his right one. But when he starts swearing and grabbing his hurt foot, oops, I mean paw, he's not grabbing the right one, but the left one. A small and very subtle continuity error, but we're experts at spotting these. In the episode Once Bitten from the 4th season, we see that Gary isn't as cute as we imagined. At least, not all the time. And after he bites several people in Bikini Bottom and they turn into zombies, we see that the elderly lady who appears from time to time in SpongeBob SquarePants episodes is as we usually see her, but now as a zombie. But right after, when the zombies are chasing SpongeBob, she seems to have changed her outfit. Or maybe it's a nightgown. Anyway, she changed clothes and was now wearing a very different color than what we're used to seeing her in SpongeBob SquarePants. Changing clothes that quickly requires a lot of skill. Congratulations, ma'am. Those were the 16 SpongeBob SquarePants mistakes we've gathered for you today. Comment below if you had already noticed any of them, or if you enjoyed these new errors we brought just for you. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next videos. See you next time. Bye-bye.